Apple memorabilia is selling at a record levels. Google pays Apple for bug find. All that and more on today's Tech News. On our last episode, we mentioned how a check that was signed by Steve Jobs was going up for auction, and incredibly, that actually raised $106,985, and that's 400% above the estimated $25,000. So it's interesting to see how the memorabilia for old Apple things going at the moment. And sticking with that information, a sealed original iPod has broken the record with $29,000 in sale prices as well. And that goes with the iPhone that was sold a few weeks back as well, that brought in record profits. So if you are a bit of a holder for the old products or actual any signatures or anything like that, maybe now's the time to start bringing those out. Apple held their Q3 earnings last night, and they reported a revenue of $81.79 billion, which is down 1% year over year, and earnings per share of $1.26. Profit for the quarter came in at $19.88 billion, which is up 5% year on year. Revenue was almost exactly what analysts had predicted, though there were some disappointments in the calls as well. And make sure you check out 9 to 5 Max, where they actually do a bit more of an in-depth on there, and that uses the Jason Snell's usual colorful charts as well. Both Apple and Samsung have responded to the new policy by India. A new policy was actually announced that said Macs and iPads imported into India will require a license, and that was with immediate effect. Now, I believe the reason India is doing this is to try and push a made in India type of thing going on. So the way Apple and Samsung have actually responded is by halting laptop imports into India straight away. So I don't know how long this will go on from both companies, but it's interesting to see that they are standing their grounds against India's new, all of a sudden, import policies. Sticking with Samsung for a moment, today's the days that we are starting to see the new Samsung products that was announced at Galaxy Unpacked arrive in the UK. So today my Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic actually arrived, and I've been having a little look through and doing a bit of a setup on there just to see how it compares. I am going to do a comparison against the Apple Watch at some point, and I know that David on D-Talking Tech over on YouTube has received a Samsung, I think it's a Fold, and he'll be doing obviously some videos and reviews on his channel, so I'll link that below, so make sure you guys check that out as well. Now, we put an article out yesterday evening that said, according to Forbes, Google has verified that Apple security engineering and architect team has actually discovered a critical vulnerability in the Chrome web browser, and that was by the SEER team, which actually looks for bugs across the platforms such as the Mac, the iPhone, and things like that. And they do look for flaws in the software, and then they report those back. So it does look like Google is paying them for the discovery, which is at $15,000. And that will bring the total bounties that's been paid out so far for vulnerabilities as $123,000. So it is good to see that Google is sticking by paying out for the bug bounties, and obviously it's great that Apple are actually finding these as well and reporting those. CarPay for Nothing has actually confirmed that they are working on a smartwatch. Now, for those who have been following Nothing since they announced the Nothing Year One back in July 2021, they have taken a different measure of announcing their products to other companies. So instead of holding a big keynote, they've actually been taken to YouTube and also TikTok, where they start putting out some teasers. And when they announced the new Nothing Phone 2, they actually used YouTuber and investor Casey Neistat, and they actually went on a theme park roller coaster, which apparently CarPay hates, and they actually used that to announce the phone and discuss some of the things regarding the company. Well, sticking towards the YouTube theme, They discussed their quarterly update, and they confirmed that they also had a recent funding round where they raised $96 million. And Carl Pale used this opportunity as well to say that they were setting up a CMF by Nothing, which will operate independently, and basically they're going to be working in R&D. And he also said that they'll be bringing accessibly priced products to the ecosystem. And with that, he also said that because it is running independent, there'll be no distraction from the main products such as the Nothing earbuds and the Nothing phones. And he said that they will start off by launching a smartwatch and earbuds. Now, obviously, there are earbuds at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see what he actually means by bringing in, if it's going to be different to the current Nothing ones. But what really sticks out is the smartwatch. Obviously, Carl's take on the earbuds and phone is a little bit different with the see-through, and you've got your lights on the back of the phone. Love them or hate them, they're there, and it does help the phone stand out. So it'll be interesting to see what their take on the smartwatch will be. If you travel through some of the forums regarding Nothing, you will see people asking for smartwatches and tablets as well. And a lot of these are die-hard OnePlus fans who have basically given up on the company since they've gone a bit more mainstream and not the scrappy underdog as they used to be. So it looks like they're pinning hopes on Carl Pei as well to bring out some new products. Now, at the time of recording this, the tech news is a little bit quiet at the moment. So we're going to wrap it up for today, and we are going to start working on our video regarding the new Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic. So we'll put a link to our YouTube in there, so make sure you guys subscribe and check those videos out. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode.